Local journalist, media rep.
Dan Nelson, Assistant Administrator, Vernon Memorial Healthcare.
Rick Oleg, Law Enforcement Liaison for the State Bureau of Transportation Safety.
And Luke Young, Sergeant, State Patrol.
Dave Renish, Police Chief, Ontario.
Jason Crow, Lieutenant, Vernon County Sheriff's Office.
Dave Egan, County Board. Dan Helgerson, Mayor for the City of Westby.
Joe Schneider, Wisconsin DOT.
Justin Running with the Vernon County Board.
Brandon Larson, Vernon County Emergency Management.
Very good. Thank you all for coming today. I will continue with the public affirmation of public notice. I think we made that.
Yep.
And then we'll continue with a motion to approve the previous meeting's minutes. Motion from anybody here?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. And audience to visitors. You visitors?
I am.
Right here.
Okay. Afternoon. My name is Jeff Lindorf. I'm Transportation Director at Kingsbury Schools. Darrell Clark had brought this up at a different meeting, but things hadn't changed yet. So I just wondered, in front of the school there, as you're leaving Mound Park, big suburb of Viola, it's 35 miles an hour or through till you get to the 55 by Jerry Green's. I don't know if any of you are where he lives or whatever, but it's about maybe half mile from the school's exit, and then it turns to 55. What we were hoping, and I've got a great blowout here that I can show, or blow up I can show you guys, but anyway, what we were hoping is it could be a 45 past the school down to the corner heading towards Reedstown, which it turns to a 35 yellow sign curve corner at that point, and then make it a 55 somewhere after that corner. Especially during track season and so forth, and some classes go down to the swamp and so forth. It just would make sense to the superintendent and I and a lot of other people if we could slow that down a little bit through there, make it about 45 miles an hour.
Yeah,
I don't have a problem with that.
That's all it took. Great. Thanks for your time.
That's all you gotta do, this is nice.
What do you think, Joe? You want to leave us off?
The guy in the red.
I don't, not super familiar with this spot here, but I don't know if we've looked at this recently or not. This one doesn't ring any bells, but I don't deal with the speed limit stuff much anymore. I don't know if you know if anyone's talked with Brad Bynum in their office at all.
I do not. Like I said, Darrell he's on the board. He was representing the school district on this, and there was another guy from your position, only not you, that was there, but apparently that he changed hands or somebody different come in or something.
I mean, Brad's been doing this for I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years. So
Okay.
He'd be the person to contact, and the contact should come from the village or municipality.
Okay.
Good township out there.
And I'm not sure what municipality it falls in, but the request should come from the municipality, so that they're the ones that are there forever, basically. So that's who we kind of want to deal with on this stuff.
So I should go through the village of Viola or the township of Kickapoo?
Yeah. And then they can send a request to Brad Bynum.
How do you spell that?
Byon is his last name. I'm just trying to, I don't know if his email is Brad or Bradley. Check here. Bradley. Bradley. And his number is 608-789-5707.
5707.
Yeah, but I mean, either have someone give him a call or send him an email with, I guess, your area of concern. And,
Okay.
He can either look into it or start looking into it, or
Okay.
if he may have already if this has come up at a different meeting, I guess I'm not sure what that was, but he maybe is already aware of it.
Okay.
But typically for speed limit stuff, I mean, it basically boils down to doing some type of speed study, which involves collecting some radar data and then looking at crashes and driveway spacing and other development in the area.
Okay.
And that kind of determines, the majority of it's based off our 85th percentile speed data that we collect. Basically, we want to set speed limits appropriately to what traffic's kind of comfortable driving, so we're not getting irrational designs out there. Your request is a fairly common issue. You have school on the outskirts of town, and where that, you know, transition of speed change occurs is fairly common, so.
Okay.
That's the best path for it. I mean, I'll talk to him too when I get back to the office and just give him a heads up that somebody's probably gonna contact them on it.
All right.
Jeff, the main concerns are speed, then?
Yeah.
Is it pulling out then when kids are leaving, buses are leaving, that kind of issue that during that?
Well,
those
okay,
times,
say we have track meets in the afternoon, shot and disc across the road. We put up cones with little lights on them, you know, LED lights that flash, and, you know, it helps, but it just, there's times that kids are crossing and stuff, and
There's no
45 is better
crosswalk
than 50.
either, is there? Is there a
No,
crosswalk?
not a distinct crosswalk.
So you're
It's like
going
you got a
from-
half a mile up
Yeah.
crossing the road there. so.
You're going from the school across that main highway, which is 55.
Right,
And they're going over to the other facility for the other part of the track,
Right.
running or whatever.
Right.
The discus, whatever you get. Okay.
that would be the busier time, but I mean, you know, there's classes that go over there different times of the year during the school year and stuff. so.
Okay.
All right, well, thanks a lot for your time, appreciate it.
Nothing.
All right, Bill, thank you.
I don't know what you have on the agenda or how
This is just
laid out.
audience to visitors, so you can take the floor.
All right, while we're on the speed limit. I've never understood in Westby, coming down 27, that it's 55 miles an hour to the stop sign, where 1427 meet. There is no, I mean, how can you have rumble strips on a road telling you that the stop sign's coming and it's 55 miles an hour?
We have them all over the place.
Really?
Reedstown the same way.
But it just, it gets me, on 27 there where P or Sogsted meet, the DOT has determined now that's a dangerous intersection for 2021. I think they're gonna put some turn lanes there. But you're in the city limits. Why is it gotta be 55 miles an hour?
Well, again, I mean, similar statement. to
Well, they've
this
done their
issue. I
traffic
mean,
studies, and what I was told was, people are slowing down on their own.
Yeah, I mean, so as you approach a stop sign, there's stop ahead signs, there's rumble strips, there's a stop sign. People are naturally gonna judge that and slow down as they determine they need to for that stop condition. It's just like we don't make a speed limit change on an approach to a traffic signal, because you naturally have driver decision points that if the light turns yellow, we don't need to tell them to go 55, 35, 25, 50. It's just your natural reaction to a stop condition.
But I mean,
So the nature of an intersection, right, is if that's a stop condition, as you're approaching it, there's a lot of cues other than speed limit to tell you you're approaching an intersection, and that's what we're relying on more than speed limit. I mean, it could be signed 85, someone's gonna stop there.
right, well,
So,
the thing is,
you
I
know,
mean, you go
like-
farther out, you go to the intersection, like I said, P sucks that, I mean, it was bad enough that they're gonna have to do something with turn lanes there and stuff. Why reducing the speed there wouldn't be an asset?
Because if it was signed 35, do you think people would go 35?
They may not go 65.
But they're, I guess that's where I'm saying setting an arbitrary speed limit doesn't really accomplish anything, because people are gonna drive that. They feel they're leaving town, it's rural in nature, they're gonna speed up. So that's, when we do a speed study, we're trying to capture that, where we think people are naturally slowing down. Well, if it's within 1,000 feet of a stop sign, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for us to put in a short 40-mile-an-hour zone when in 1,000 feet they're gonna be going 0. You know, and in the other direction, they're speeding up leaving town. So to put one sign in there saying
Oh,
it's,
this is
you
a-
know,
a
40,
long-
that's just a natural acceleration area.
This is a long distance between the city limits and that intersection.
And we don't,
Lieutenant Crew.
I don't wanna say we don't take village limits or city limits into account, because we do, but it's more of from a development standpoint, what, you know, how many access points there are, how close things are to the roadway, what that feel is, more than here's an arbitrary point where the village starts and stops. You know, that isn't necessarily what we're looking at when we study those things. It's, hey, there's 15 driveways in this half a mile because there's a bunch of businesses,
Mhm.
which means there's a lot of people coming and going in there, so that's gonna naturally make people slow down because there's all kinds of action going on around them. You know, if you get out of town more and there's one driveway here, one driveway there, and the businesses are set back, there's no pedestrian activity, people tend to think, hey, I'm leaving town, I'm gonna speed up. So they're gonna do that regardless of really what we sign. And so we try to match our speed limits into what people naturally drive so that we get voluntary compliance. Otherwise, Luke's gotta sit there by that sign all day, every day, which he can't do. I mean, doesn't have the manpower to do that. And then, yeah, you'll get compliance when there's a cop. But other than that, you're not going to. And so then you do get a percentage of people that will follow that sign to the T every time. And now you have this, you know, small percentage of people going 15 miles an hour slower than everyone else, which is also a safety concern as far as speed differential goes. So that's why we try to do these speed zones consistently statewide as well, to create better driver expectation across the state. So when they're coming into every little village and town and city, as they drive from, say, here to Milwaukee, you know, it's a similar expectation at any little area they come into, that, hey, last time I went into a town, it was nothing going on and it was 25, but this one it's 45 and this one it's 35. You kind of want some consistency in how we apply speed zone. And, you know, the best way to do that is base it off of data that the traveling public is giving us. And go out there and take that data and then kind of work to fit that with our zones. Well, that's, I guess, kind of the process, so.
Just something I've been asked
Right,
constantly.
right. No, like I said, it's very common, you know. Almost every municipality has the same concerns when a highway's coming into their limits, is where is that transition? What is the speed drop to? You know, what, that it's a common issue, and, you know, like I said, we try to be consistent with everywhere and how we develop those zones and where they change. And the thing I like to try to tell people is, now, if it's been something for a long time and all of a sudden you get a bunch of development, that's when we kind of want, you know, that's when we would want to take another look at it, because there's been changes. Or you go in and put curb and gutter and sidewalk where somewhere there wasn't. You know, that type of change is when you can actually have an impact on the travel speeds, versus now we're just going to change the sign and it's not really going to make a lot of difference. If that makes sense.
Now, the city has purchased that farm right on the outside of Westby going.
Well, and that's why I think it, you know, hopefully down the road, we'll have to reevaluate that, because, we did purchase Society Farm, along 27 there, just past the Dollar General, so we have 74 acres there we hope to develop.
Sure.
And then that would be hopefully commercial retail, stuff like that. We are looking at our design to try to make it safe. Our design is to put a frontage road in so we don't
Sure.
have a one
Right.
entrance. But if the traffic increases, they're coming in and out of there and stuff. I think it's something at that time we definitely should maybe do another
Yeah,
traffic
I
study.
mean, that's, you know, that's the type of thing that we're open to, you know, when there's changes in surrounding areas, that's definitely when we wanna, you know, and if it becomes an issue, you know, that's the stuff we wanna hear about and try to address. But, you know, we have some areas that we get a request on basically an annual basis, and nothing's changed in 15 years, you know. And we study it every couple years, and nothing's changing, so at some point, it's like, well, we're not gonna keep going out there and spending a few hours collecting data and a few more hours in the office analyzing it and putting a report out when there's been no real change, and we've done 2 or 3 speed studies over, say, 10 years, and nothing, you know, we're getting the data that's within 0.5 miles an hour over 10 years. We're not, it's pretty clear nothing's gonna change if we do it again in 3 years, unless something in the roadway
Development changes, yeah.
you know.
What we really need though is a roundabout.
Yes.
I am going to defer any of those questions to Travis Burrows, who is our project manager for that project, because
It's pretty much what Travis said you were gonna say.
there's a lot of discussions ongoing, and they're above me, so
Well, and
I don't have any new information to provide.
it's, you know.
I tried to get new information to bring, because I knew it was
No.
gonna come up, but there's
but
nothing to talk
that's-
about. It was for me.
Yeah, that's a big one. Like I said, I guess this is the first time I've been to one of the safety committee meetings here. It was nice enough to let me know when it was going on. Yeah, the roundabout in Westby is a big issue. I think we're making headway with it, I don't know. I mean, they're not my favorite thing in the world, but I think that's a situation where it works. We really do need to keep the traffic flowing. There's times of day you can sit at that stop sign and we're backed up past Dollar General on 27. And the worst part of it is the IGA and the zip stop are becoming bypass lanes. And they're shooting through there quick because they're taking a shortcut. They want to make sure they beat that car that was at the stop sign ahead of them, you know? And I understand that it fell short of being a safety issue, I think, to the how severe the accidents were. And I really don't want to wait till somebody dies there to act on it. This was something that was voted unanimously on a resolution by the council. It was requested by the council when DOT first brought this to us. And I know that's probably not common in a lot of areas that they're requested to be, you know, kind of split.
I mean, it's definitely, we've turned a corner, I guess, in my opinion, as far as roundabouts go. At least more recently, it seems maybe not like jump up and down and yay, we want 10 of them, but it's also not, you know, pitchforks and, you know, fire, get out of our town either. So
Well,
like,
Virgin.
yeah,
I would admit.
well, they want more now.
They want
so
more
that,
now,
you
yeah.
know,
I can't believe they'd want more. I
They
mean,
want multiple
They were
more.
fired
so,
up initially.
you know, they're effective, and you know, like you're talking, you don't just have safety, you have operational, and your speed concern. It would all go kind of, I won't say away, but that the
Right.
roundabout would be a very
You're
good
forced to slow down.
position.
And that'll help. And the big thing is the way things back up there. I mean, if you got 2 semis at the stop sign, you know, they gotta wait for a break to get out. And the cars are just gonna line up.
Well,
And I can't blame
majority
people.
of that traffic's taking a left, and so
Mhm.
it's, you know, if there was right turning traffic, it wouldn't be as bad. But
Right.
they're all trying to go left, so you got both lanes to clear, and then
Wow.
you got a right turn that you can't tell if someone's behind them on. And
It's a weird angle there. You can't
Yep.
see, you know, they're talking now about I say just prettying up the intersection. They're gonna put a median in there, kind of define the turn lane a little bit, but you're still gonna be at that angle. You can't see if that next car is gonna go straight or not. So, it sounds like, there's been a lot of discussion about it and stuff.
Like I said, it's over my head.
Yeah,
It's over my
and,
head.
hopefully we can do it. I just don't want to wait till the accidents are that bad. It's something that we really wanted back when they first were gonna do our Main Street 2020. At that time, priorities were different with the DOT as far as roundabouts. I was told at that time, 2014 or something, when they first talked to us, that every major intersection was gonna look and see if a roundabout was feasible. That was like between the roundabouts and bike paths, that was kind of figured into everything. And now, I know things have changed now, and now it's
Well,
more the cost.
They
and-
changed and now they changed again, so,
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
it goes by administration basically. Our prior administration was, very much a replace in kind type of direction, and, prior to that was more of a kind of take a look at everything, and now we're kind of, I think, we're still, a lot of our previous administration stuff is gonna carry on for a long time, but, cause they made a lot of significant changes in processes and things, but.
I'm just afraid that if we don't act on it now, you know, I mean, they won't come back to work on Main Street for another 25, 30 years. And our traffic right now, the last numbers I heard was between 11,000 and 12,000 cars a day are going down Main Street. And 7,000 of those are going up 27. So that, I mean, the interstates up there, that's, and Sparta looks like it's coming our way, and Organic Valley's out there now. So I think it's a spot that a roundabout would really be beneficial, and, that.
I'm
DOT
not gonna argue with you,
No, the
so.
DOT, no, the DOT
From my
has been
opinion,
very
you
nice
know.
to, you know, discuss this and deal with it. When we first requested it, the engineers, we asked them to get one about the size of Caston's fit in there, and they laid it out in the map and it would fit. We'll lose a car wash, but it would fit, and we all were pretty happy. And then a couple months later, the DOT comes to our next meeting and rolls out the long map, and it's not there anymore. And it was like, that's where we had a problem. So, I'm glad to hear the conversation's going on. Travis was at City Hall today going through some of our minutes from previous years to see our industrial park, things have grown and changed. We do have this Sidey farm we're looking at developing, so the more and more we're adding to it, I think it's time now we really need to look at this.
Yeah, and like I said, I was hoping I know there's definitely discussions going on, and I was hoping that there'd be some kind of information to provide, but I did not hear anything of it. I checked this morning and I was kind of told those discussions are still occurring, so I'm just gonna have to punt and